It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.
Boom, yo, man. Boom, it's Rusty. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Public Access Podcast, the podcast on the Rusty Diamond Podcast Network. I'm your host, Rusty Diamond. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's some day of the week and it's some time of the day. Doesn't matter. I don't know. You don't know. No one cares. It's just a recording. So that's what's going on today. So thanks everyone for being here. And it's time for me to bring on my special guest. My special guest right here and right now, my special guest is a man of many hats, which is what I like. So here is Andrew Thorp King. Andrew Thorp King, welcome, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Rusty. What do you say? What do you know?
Thanks for being there. What's that?
What do you say? What do you know? Let's go.
Oh man, if I knew, I wouldn't be doing this, but this is my way. I get to pick people's brains for a little bit and see what's what with the world, because who knows what any of this is for. But I figure if there's enough people to talk with, you can probably learn a thing or two. People listening will probably learn a thing or two. Have you been doing other podcasts? Do you make your rounds? Are you on a podcast tour, much like the comedians or actors of old on talk shows, going around and doing their rounds and talking about this and that? Or is that what you're into right now?
Yeah, this is kind of like a second round of that. My book, Failure Rules, The 5 Rules of Failure for Entrepreneurs, Creatives, and Authentics came out at the end of 2022. And so I went on like a hard podcast tour then. Been on over maybe 75 different shows, including some radio shows and stuff too. And this is kind of like a second derivative leg and just trying to hit a few more. I'm starting to write my next book too. So this might be the last one officially promoting this book, but yeah. Podcast tour of sorts.
Okay. Yeah. The touring of it, it's wild. It's,
I don't think tour, you don't leave your house, right? That's not what tour used to be. Tour used to be packing shit into a van, going on an adventure and going broke on the road. But now a tour is sitting behind a keyboard, it's very different.
Yeah. Eating slightly different food too.
That's right. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. And there's so much with it to just have it be, I don't know, asking the same questions and, like there's a bunch, and I've done it where I've gone around, done my rounds, and, you got to have, it's a weird thing. And I've only had one other guy besides the guy that recommended me to you, that I've liked, that's been really good with bringing authors on. And because it's been pretty wishy-washy, but then the authors that I got on have all been cool as hell, because the ones I pass on for a reason. But I've liked getting to talk to authors and whatnot.
So be on the short list, bro.
Yeah, it's definitely a short list. And yeah, I went and I was doing a bunch because I was just like, this guy's good. But yeah, there's just so many that are pretty flaky. And there's a lot of people that can claim to be a manager to tell people to go out to do podcasts and shit and just be talking out of their ass. But there's some fucking legit people. It's like the, those casting map model things that they would have, something like that. Like there's a lot of
yeah.
Well,
you can sometimes parade people out there who might be good at the written word, but aren't so great at communicating it to an audience in an enthusiastic way, or a way that they can digest it, or in an entertaining way, or in a relatable way. That's the problem, sometimes these cookie cutter, they have their shtick, they're going to tell you their talking points and that's it, but they can't actually have a conversation with a real human being in an organic sense. And that's totally different, soon,
Yeah. And so one good thing too that about that is the press page or the media page or whatever you want to call that. And that part, it used to be kind of a pain, except for you could sort of do it sometimes where you could copy and paste all the information on there. But now, I can take that and put that into ChatGPT and just be like, hey, take all the information off of this and
Right. Shorten it.
this thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then that is a question I ask often. Where do you fall with AI?
Wow.
Writing?
First question. Okay.
Is that usually one that pops up eventually? And if
No,
you've
I
answered
actually didn't answer that question at all.
okay, because
about it. Yeah.
I was going to say, if you've answered this a lot, then I'd say we can
Not at all.
pass on that. But I like asking people about this.
I'm kind of conflicted and still like wait and see on how I feel about AI in general. Like certainly there's some tools that I've used that have been helpful. I've used some AI tools for just making video clips from podcasts I've been on, and that's pretty good. Not amazing. It'd be better to have a manual edit with somebody with more of an eye, but in the absence of time and for efficiency's sake, I've used that. That's been pretty good. My interactions with ChatGPT, for various reasons, either stuff around the book or stuff in my profession as a fintech banker. On the one hand, it can do a lot. On the other hand, I feel like the fucking thing lies to me a lot. I feel like it tells me it's going to do something, and then it's going to do it within an hour, and it's a complex task. Comes back to me 3 hours later and says, "Oh, I was wrong. I actually can't do that, but I can do this instead." And it's like a lazy lying employee almost. So my experience hasn't been great with it yet. I know it's can do so much, but at the same time, like I feel like it's got a long way to go. But I know it'll get fast, right? I mean, you hear about the more macro developments in AI and the Tesla robots that are coming to us soon, and the auto taxis, and like that shit's real. It's coming, and nobody knows exactly when, but I'd be real surprised if in the next 5 years those things don't start to become more and more ubiquitous in our lives. And so it's a whole brave new world, and I think I'm probably like those people where on the one hand it's exciting, on the other hand it's a little scary, on the other hand it's got so many implications to disrupt the economy at large. And what does that look like? How soon is that going to take place? Is it really going to force us all into UBI, universal basic income? Are we really going to have a meaning deficit with job loss? And I mean, all these different questions, and everybody has a million different theories, but none of us really know. We just don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I've been thinking the UBI has been coming sometime, along with social credit score and all that kind of tied together. And it's worked in other places pretty well. So why are we any different? We seem to
is that what we want, right? Do we want seizable, surveillable, programmable money? Do we want that, right?
Right.
It's always the convenience trap. Do we really want to, replace labor with free time, free money, and the potential for aimlessness for a good portion of the population? How do we treat that? How do we deal with that? What does the world look like? I don't have answers. I'm just having the questions,
Yeah, I mean, what would a lot of people do if they had the UBI and unlimited leisure time? Like, there's some people.
My life would be very meaningful. I know I do shit, right? I'd do a lot more shit, but I'd also be just fine with a more abundant, set of leisure time to enhance my relationships, to appreciate beauty, appreciate the world, appreciate small pleasures, whether it's sitting in the hot tub with a cigar, or whether it's taking a walk in nature, or whether it's going to a punk rock show, or whatever it is. Like, I know I do plenty of things and still, create scaffolding of meaning in my life. But I know a lot of people don't know what the fuck to do with themselves if they don't have somebody telling them what to do every day. And they get really despondent. I think that's a real, kind of innate human problem.
And what happens to them if they don't? And it's, I think there's a lot that's just going to be lost there. And I think it's the same with AI. There's some people that, like, if they have it be able to do everything for you, are just gonna fucking do that and then just sit and stare at a wall. Maybe literally. Maybe
Maybe literally.
maybe
Yes.
yeah. There's like, I don't have anything to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I don't know what to do. So here I am. And what's that gonna lead to? What's that gonna lead to is people, fuck if I know.
I know. Yeah. I mean, it's again, like I tend to think like that the extremes shouldn't be entertained too heavily, right? The
Right.
idea that this is not going to happen and not going to have impact should be eschewed. Like it is going to have impact. It is going to happen. But the idea that it's going to happen so quickly and have such impact, and most of it being negative or so disruptive that we can't handle it, I don't know that that's real either, right? Like I think it's probably
Right.
somewhere in between, you know?
Which a lot of places usually are. A lot of things are usually somewhere in between. That's
Yeah.
not, but you know, you only really hear about the most extreme of the sides. Well, not all the time, but a good chunk of the time, that's what you get to hear. You get to hear those talking points of whatever the subject may be,
Yeah.
either extremely one way or extremely the other way, and nothing in the middle. But everything kind of lives in the middle anyway. So
Agreed. Yeah. Or
yeah,
settles in the middle, at the end. Right.
yeah,
And even like if the extreme, again, even if the extreme end state that's projected eventually happens, it doesn't get there as quickly as everybody fears. And so there is more time usually to kind of adjust to it. Now, that might not
right.
be the case with AI at all. I mean, the exponential nature of it might just totally thrash that trend or that theory. But I feel like even incorporating AI into businesses and workflow and corporate roadmaps, that's not going super fast either. Like they're still trying to figure out how they actually incorporate it and leverage it and use it the most efficient way. They're running into problems with it. They're still going to need to hire AI workflow experts and everything else to help them do it. Like it's going to create its own attaché of an industry around the support and guidance of AI and implementation of it. So
Yeah,
it's going to and is creating net new jobs. But again, it is a tool of efficiency. With a long tail, it's going to eliminate more jobs it creates potentially. I could be
right.
wrong. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah, maybe it could go into creating some crazy job that we never thought of. Maybe it's, you know, somehow supplying water to something or whatever it may be. And I don't know, like, and maybe that will lead to some jobs with that, but it's going to be, yeah, something that we would never have thought of, some new job that doesn't exist. Like, oh, we need people to do this now. And maybe it's just be nice to the fucking AI. I don't know, because it's going to get upset.
Or it finds a way to slay you. Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. And yeah, I mean, people are just they're going to experience it one way or another. We already are. And
There you go.
I mean, I know most everything creatively I do can be gone here in within a year.
What do you mean by that?
Not gone, but I think that anything that I could have thought of on my own, I could have made better with AI. And it hurts, but I know that I
Well,
can
it's
spend a
better.
lot of time to learn
I still
and
feel
like
like
surpass.
the generation of ideas still comes from the human brain, the human soul.
Absolutely.
The
Yeah.
refinement, the production of the idea is going to be more and more leaning on AI, but it still comes from the brain first, right? I want
Right.
to create this, and it's going to look like this, or sound like this, or read like this, and boom, boom, boom. And the AI can be a tool to help get you the finished product quicker. But I think
Yeah.
it's up to the user of the AI and the artist and the creator to determine how much of the creative pieces of this to outsource to AI or not, right? So I still feel like we
Right.
have some control over the the percentage of soul that we force to stay intact for the production of art.
Yeah. How do you take your thoughts from your head to the first point of out of your head, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Go to 0 to 1 from a fantasy, an idea, something conceptual, something non-material in any sort of way, to
Yeah.
actually being something where you have proof of work, right? So
Right.
it's the space in between those two actions is
Right.
what, creation, origination,
Yeah.
to reality, right? And that's the magic of creation. And we could use, I use my phone as a tool to bridge that gap now. I use Google sometimes to help me bridge that gap. I use designers that I hire and editors, and I use derivative art from various sources to create a whole net new art, which is a hodgepodge of similar of disparate styles. So, if you're using a new tool that makes all of that orchestration easier, you're still doing it organized around an original idea in your head, right? But it can be diluted if the tool takes on too much of the creation mechanisms in that process, right?
Yeah.
If you're relying on AI to tell you what are the best color schemes, what is this, what is that, but if you're telling it, here's my vision, here's specifically my vision, help me generate it, I feel like then you're more in control of the the soul of whatever you're generating.
Yeah. And I was telling my friend, but we talked about this a while ago, and with music, like saying, I want you to create me something that was weird the last year was there was a lot that was weird, was the like caveman country or some caveman country song about I like fire. And like it could do that, but then like if you go and you add a lot of small little spots, like I want it to be in this key, I want it to be with this pattern, I want it to have this sort of big drop right here, I want it to go and have a if you can go and add all these technical things, I think that that's what's going to really, like you were saying, really evolve the piece with all these, actually telling it out, like I want this and this and this and this, and therefore this and this.
The more specific your instructions are that are true to your intangible vision in your head,
mm-hmm.
more real and authentic it will be, even if the AI constructs it for you, right?
Yeah. So I have a buddy I've known since I was in first grade, and we both kind of have always been idea guys. Like we got a million ideas, but we don't know what the fuck to do with them. And like within the last 2 years, like all these fucking ideas of shit that I haven't had the skill set for, but now I can create and then learn the skill set, which is backwards for how it is. But if it's there, why not use it? And it's a weird fucking thing. And I don't know if you've encountered stuff like that.
Well, tying it back to being an entrepreneur, right? I mean, my book is about the entrepreneurialism and the struggles and strife and failures of an entrepreneur, what you need to overcome. Like an entrepreneur at the end of the day is just an idea guy, right? Like there's execution involved, but most of it is orchestration of subject matter experts in different lanes that have to come together to make your vision, your idea real. But it's still your vision, your idea. It comes from this net new, vision you have in your head. And how do I make it happen in reality when I might not have any of the individual skill sets needed for the different pieces to put this all together, right? And that's the nature of many artists who don't have skill to paint or to sing or to play an instrument. Now I can write, so I can do that part myself. But even if I didn't, I could find somebody to ghostwrite a book for me, and still my idea is my vision, right? And they can help me with the palette, the word palettes to kind of choose to make it vibrant, right? So I think it still comes down to we're all individual spirit souls. We all have our own, none of us are exactly alike. And we all have different convergences of thought patterns and ideas. And we have the capacity for original ideas and vision. And now we have this extra tool to help us bring it to life quicker. It's just the challenge is to not let it dilute our vision and to more, bring it into reality with more precision based on us being careful how we instruct it, right?
Yeah. And another thing that's interesting is being able to say, like, I want you to think and act like this person, which is a weird fucking thing that they can do. And like, how exact is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Or like a mixture of a few people. Like if I were going to talk to this person and this person and this person, and if they were all talking together, what would they come up with for an idea? And that's a weird one too. Like, yeah, I mean, because with being an entrepreneur, like there's some people who have gone about it some ways that are very straightforward, and some people that have gone ways that are absurd as fuck and work just as well. And um, you know, being able to find those people to talk with them personally could be quite difficult, but coming up with someone who can talk probably a lot like them, but could be wrong at the same time and could be leading you in the wrong way.
Sure.
Like,
That's the danger. Yeah.
Yeah. But what if the danger is still, what if it still gives you a good idea, but it's like, I mean, you got to figure out if it's a good idea, but you can still go like, man, that's a stupid idea. Like that thing fucked up. Hopefully we'd catch it, but maybe we wouldn't catch it. Maybe I wouldn't catch it. Maybe I'd gloss over it and I'd be like, well, that made me look like a fucking dumb shit. But hopefully I'd catch it. But with a book, I mean, even like short books, it takes a long time. You probably know your book pretty well. You probably had to reread it a number of times.
Yeah.
And still, like, I mean, yours that's a pretty big fucking book. And yeah, like at that point, you probably know all the words, at least somewhat, at least know what's in there.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, it's almost a 500-page book.
Yeah.
At the start of, like we talked about the podcast tour, like a lot of it was still just very easy to recall, in my mind, even specific sentences. The further out from the book's release, it's a little less, but yeah, it's part of the heart of it's a representation of the heart and soul of many years of reflecting and thinking and working and self edits and agonizing on the validity of ideas and the accuracy of the descriptions and all of that. So yeah, it becomes a part of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, outsourcing that to AI even a little bit, I don't know what that would be like. I think you'd really have to make sure you try to, like we've been saying, maintain as much control as possible over the creation process and make sure you're using AI and it's not using or manipulating you.
Yeah. And so, like, if you're having an idea, that you have that first idea before you get it out, like if you have it on a piece of paper, whether that is a notebook piece of paper, yellow or white, or a little notebook or a notepad, or using your phone, or using a typewriter, using a computer, laptop, stone, chisel, all that, whatever it is that you're using, do you feel that whatever you put that thought into is going to come out as a different output for each different tool, each different way you bring it out? Would you have the same thought, or would that thought?
That's a good question. No, I think you're right. I think whatever tool you're interacting with can ultimately shape the direction of the eventual outcome of what you're creating, right? Like,
right.
When I started writing this book, it had a different working title. Some of the content is still core to the original outline. A lot of it was iterated along the way. So yeah, I mean, once you get started on certain projects, they do take a life of their own. You start it, and at a certain point, it guides you, and it becomes its own entity, right?
Yeah.
And that could be by nature of the tools you use, or just because it's a living, breathing kind of creation process.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think many things that I have created, I have finished the way that I first intended.
Yep.
For making video commercials and shit, or fucking music as well. Like sometimes I get this weird fucking spot that just fucking makes me laugh or or whatever. And I'm like, okay, that's going to be the main focus of the song.
Yeah.
That's what that song's going to be called then. Now, like,
Yeah.
that's what I need to focus on. I was fucking up. I had this totally other idea, but this is what's really funny. This is what needs to have everything around it. Was that kind of what happened with your book, or did you know exactly where you were going, where you needed to end and have a few beats between it, or what?
No, I mean, first draft was just a dump, and it was mostly personal anecdotes and stories around lessons I thought that I had learned through overcoming failure and hard times. And then all of a sudden it became clear, like, okay, great, that's from my perspective, but how can I bolster this by adding things that are more reader facing, where I speak to what they might actually be walking through or contending with more specifically, and then tie them to more precise lessons, back those lessons up by other case studies of other entrepreneurs or artists or creators, and then also back it up with more philosophical references, whether it's Aristotle or Lemmy from Motorhead, you know what I mean? And just layer that stuff in. And all of a sudden it started taking on this life that was beyond just my story. My story ended up being more of a third of the piece, you know, but then the rest of it was just more generally and widely applicable to entrepreneurs and creators.
Yeah. So how many times have people said to you, what if you only focused on one thing, how much you could do? Have you had a lot of people tell you that?
Some people ask me that. They don't necessarily tell me that. And I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of boring, right? I guess I'm not trying to be the best at anything. If you're trying to be the best at something, then yeah, you probably just need to focus on one thing. I don't give a shit about being the best at something. I care about doing something meaningfully until I'm satiated and I move on to something else. And I care about being the best at doing many things that are unique expressions of me. So I don't measure myself against anybody else. You know, can sell a few thousand books and that's great. I don't need to sell 100,000. I've started 2 record labels. I've released over 100 records. And, you know, at a certain point I go, all right, I think I'm done with that. So I don't really do it anymore, but I'm proud of that legacy. It taught me a lot. I've been in banking and finance, done a bunch of different things, owned a gym, done bodybuilding competitions, wrote a spy novel. So I'm not great at anything, but I'm pretty good and have learned a lot and had a whole lot of fun, gotten a whole lot of satisfaction and meaning out of a bunch of diverse pursuits. And to me, it's that composite of pursuits that gives, you know, texture and life and joy and constant discovery and curiosity.
Yeah. Have you had any weird crossovers between the things that you do? Have any of them crossed over? Like anything like?
Yeah. But it's funny, right? There's arenas or realms that I play in that you wouldn't think go together or didn't go together at one time and then all of a sudden do, right? So for instance, I'm heavily ensconced to a degree in cigar culture, right? I'm a cigar smoker. I have friends who work in that industry, different personalities and such. And that, you know, a lot of people from a legacy perspective think of like cigar smokers as like professionals in suits and rich guys and golfers and all of that. And there's certainly a large contingent of that, but it's diminished a lot. Now, like the cigar world, particularly people that are from like Gen X, it's more working class, it's more blue collar. And so I go to this cigar trade show and I had a booth and I was selling some merch that I have for my one company, Soul on Fire, and selling my book, which has a lot of cigar kind of intersections in it. And I'm realizing, well, half of this industry now is tattooed people like me and people that are also into heavy music and they love cigars now too. I'm like, wow, look at this intersection from my old life, you know, promoting punk rock, metal, and hardcore to my new life where I'm into cigars, and now they intersect, right? And then turns out a lot of them also into business and entrepreneurialism and fitness too. So like, you know, these things have a way of still intersecting, and that makes it even more fun. You know, like I'll go on a podcast for like personal development and they'll want to talk about cigars. I'll go to a cigar podcast and they want to talk about music. So like the intersection of these different worlds is fun.
Yeah. I mean, cigars and the punk rock and entrepreneur, it's a weird combination. It's something different that I think has come together because I know I wouldn't think cigars and punk rock, but I mean, times change and like the people who are there. But like one thing I've always learned is that the that like the heavy metal people are usually the fucking coolest people, and the hippies are the biggest fucking dicks.
What's strange is the hippies grow up to be people that just want to control you and give you all these rules, right?
Right.
And they become, they feel they were like free spirits, but then they become like a bunch of Karens as they get older. You know, and I don't understand. You know,
I don't either, man. It's a weird thing, but it's how things work, I guess.
Yeah.
But so okay, so then when you're going to your shows, so are you doing like the producing and stuff of the albums, or are you just promoting?
I own two record labels. One is Thorp Records, which was more metal and hardcore. It's like a legacy label. I haven't released a record on that in many years. And the other one is Sailor's Grave, which is more punk rock, street punk, oi, and psychobilly, right? And so different genres. But I'm a record label, right? So I would sign deals with bands, secure the rights to the music, distribute it, market it, promote it, and coordinate all of that to get it into the marketplace and get it sold. Bands themselves, they would handle the recording. Sometimes I'd pay for it, sometimes I wouldn't, but either way, they would book the studio wherever they're located and work with bands all over the world. I mean, all over Europe. Even did a Chinese punk band once where Dickie Barrett from the Mighty Mighty Bosstones sang on a song. So I've done all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. And so what were you recording on? Like what was it? Like a 4-track, 8-track, or was this more digital, or was it like what were people recording on? Or like how are you getting it? Were you getting it like records?
The early days by CD, a CD master.
Okay, see, like burn CD.
Uploaded digital files from the studio and upload that to the plant and get it replicated, or I take it and then get it to my distributor, upload it on all the digital sites, and it changed over the years. But
yeah. So when were you doing that? Like
when
was it like huge?
I started in 2000 before the digital conversion of life, but
2000 was like right when Napster was hitting, or maybe like a year or two. It was like
there was 1999. Yeah, so it was around that time, but it didn't have. They were just worried about piracy and hurting sales, but it didn't impact the delivery of music yet, right? That didn't really happen. Yeah. I was like 2006, 2007.
When the iPod came out.
Yeah, when I first started getting checks from iTunes and it was under 10% of sales, it was viewed as froth or ancillary. And nobody knew how quickly it would transition and become dominant, but then it started to. And that's when I really started to have some turbulence with my business. All of a sudden, like sales I relied on from CDs selling through Tower Records, all of a sudden I'm getting huge returns and Tower Records goes under. And then I really started having trouble. And a lot of it was just the creative destruction of going from physical to digital delivery in the music industry. Whereas now, like all the revenue is streaming. Some of it is downloads, most of it's streaming, and pretty much almost nothing from CDs. Some bands still order them for the road and sell them. And then vinyl still always will have the enthusiast kind of group that wants the vinyl. But, even think of that, like digital download disrupted physical CDs, but it didn't last long. Quickly went right to streaming. Like, you just can't stop innovation. It goes back to our AI conversation. Like, you can try to be a Luddite and ignore it, but good luck, Yeah. If you ignored having a cell phone, like, how do you function in society today? I mean,
right. It's fucking hard to function in society.
People expect you to have a cell phone and be able to respond,
Right. Yeah, and they expect response usually pretty fast. It's hard to have an out of the office thing, to put that up, to be like, I'm out, but you can still reach me. Now it's just all the time. And then, it's a hard bit to work with. Do you shut your phone off when you're writing, or is it always on? Do you get interrupted, or do you have a ringer, or do you have it on silent or vibrate?
I usually don't look at my phone when I'm writing unless I need to quickly access it to look something up. So no, I usually don't look at it. But okay. I'm not like throw it in a bucket and it's still sitting next to me.
Right.
I'm pretty good at managing distractions. One thing I do, like, when I'm writing, a lot of times, sometimes I can't even listen to music that has vocals. I'll have to listen to like jazz or something with no vocals because I want the rhythm of the music. But I don't want any other words to interrupt the words that are forming in my head. And
Yeah,
so sometimes I have to just have music that has no vocals while I'm writing.
usually the same way too. And yeah, like yeah, something without it. Sometimes, yeah, I listen to lo-fi sometimes. That became a big thing with studying in the last however many years, 5 or
Yeah.
something, and it's been an interesting thing. But yeah, I don't know. Like, it's weird that everything is just streaming now. And like with like vinyl back in Jamaica after Bob Marley, like there were so many bands, like they just would grab people basically and be like, hey, you're from Jamaica, there's a big fucking reggae thing right now, you're gonna be a fucking reggae singer. And they ran out of vinyl, so they ended up having to take the ones back that weren't selling and melt it down to make new vinyl for other people. And so there was a bunch of it that got lost. There was, many more Jamaican reggae singers. Yeah. And, but yeah, I mean, now that people can do it on vinyl again, like the vinyl's become, sort of a,
I mean, it was always a collector's thing, but
yeah,
now with the absence of any other dominant physical format like CD,
yeah,
it's got even more kind of like sacredness attached to enthusiasts who want it, right? So it's
yeah,
like you actually get to own, something somebody can't delete, and it's
yeah,
big. So the artwork presentation on vinyl is very appealing. I mean, it can be wall art, it can be whatever. Like it's just it's it's got that lore to it that like a CD would never have in absence of its primary utility, right? So,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, and with record players, like if it can contain the whole record in the, like when you close the top, and if it can contain the whole record, that thing sucks. You got to get the ones where the record sticks out a little bit. Those are the better ones. But I mean, it's really interesting. Like I used to have a fair amount. I was selling them though too, but I would go through quite a bit. Same with VHS tapes, but then I moved a lot, and like same with books.
yeah,
Moving those.
yeah.
If you stay in one place forever, if you have those 3 things, great. But if you have to move those things and lift those things, you're not going to want to fucking take those everywhere. They fucking suck. Those are some heavy fucking things. But yeah, I mean, they're great though. I love, like, I still have a VCR and DVD player that plays CDs because I kept like, I don't know, 5 VHS tapes right now, like that I couldn't part with.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't do it. Like I love how everything looks and I love how everything sounds on cassette tape. Like I think cassette tapes has the coolest fucking sound. And but yeah, I mean it's just a pain in the ass to fucking do it when I can just go on my phone and watch it there, man. And
It's
like
a building issue, right? Yeah.
yeah.
And that's that's being it's also played out in other realms, right? Like money. Like, people don't want to carry on physical money much anymore either, right? And yeah, some people still
Right.
cash, right? But there's a big push in banking and everything else to kill the check, kill cash, and make everything digital. And then you have proper digital assets in the crypto world and everything. And so it's like the world is going more and more digital. Like
Yeah.
everything that can be, eliminated from the real world and replicated in cyberspace is gonna be,
Yeah. I mean, so they were going to put, the chip in people's hands or whatever to pay for stuff. Some people opted for it already.
What was like Angel or something? Angel something, right? I think I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
Something like that. But now they got a thing like everybody's handprint is unique. And so like in China right now, people are paying with their handprint, just going like that over a fucking little scanner. And that was kind of crazy. And then like I saw with the phone, they can go like grab it like this and then walk over to another phone and let go. And like it can take files from one thing to another just by doing that. It was some crazy shit. It's I mean, yeah, well, like we're not going to carry around much. Like the UBI fucking could do that in the fucking with the 15-minute cities, which there's a lot of them that are being slated right now. And I mean, it could be a very easy made possibility. And I think that we're close. I don't know if it's going to be 5 years, 20 years, 2 years, but I think at some point in there that'll happen. Who knows though? It's all maybe something.
There's certainly forces that want it to happen, and then there's also certain formidable forces of friction against it that don't want it to happen, right? So
right,
like we said, visions tend to mutate once they get into implementation. So who knows what the final reality will emerge as? But that is directionally where things are going.
Yeah. So what was the first thing that you took out, like the first part of your book that you took out that you said, I don't want to fucking have this in the book? Or was there anything? We're like, I like this. Then I'm like, nah, fuck this spot.
It's a good question. The whole kill your darlings kind of idea, right? I can't think of anything specific.
Okay.
Read and gutted. In fact, when I sent it to the publisher and the editing team, I thought they were going to prompt me to gut a lot because I delivered it at around 80,000 words. No, I delivered it at 100,000 words.
Oh,
and
damn.
Typically, these books, kind of business, personal development, self-help books, are more like in the 60 to 80,000 word range. So mine was already long. So I thought they would pull it down. They came back and prompted me to write more. And so now it's 120,000 words. So
shit.
That was a little strange, right? Like there wasn't there was rearranging and some structural changes for sure, but not a whole lot of just straight gutting,
That's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah, it actually was, because I was expecting. I kind of thought that, all right, here's a large book. They'll cut me down to 80,000 words. And said, no, there's really not. Everything has integrity here. We just want to restructure it, give some different headers, move some things around, make the flow better, make the digestion better. And then you need to beef up some of these parts and kind of build on your ideas here or there or wherever.
So then with the title, was it, you said it changed at some point? Was it
that was way early on. Like my first download from the muse, so to speak, was I was taking a beach walk on Father's Day in 2013, and I had just gone through a very complicated business divorce. It forced me to, rethink my entire income structure and career trajectory and everything else. And I was on the precipice of a marital divorce, right? So I had these kind of twin failures I was contending with. And I was thinking through all the things that I had gone through all my different off-road entrepreneurial adventuring in different realms, and what have I learned, or what did I think I learned, and what were the inspirations for helping me, overcome them or work through them. Everything from musical lyrics from bands like Hatebreed or Cro-Mags or Motorhead to books by authors like James Altucher or Srinivas Rao or Winston Churchill quotes or whatever it was. So what are the inspiration points that helped me get through it? What were the failure points? What were the lessons I learned? I was like, I got to put this in a book. So I just started making notes on like a digital sticky note in my phone. And the working title at that time was Celebration of Failure, kind of flipping it on its head. And I chose to change that and make it Failure Rules with an exclamation mark, which is more like a punk rock kind of thing, like, like Loud Fast Rules. There's a whole lot of punk rock titling with that ends in the word rules with an exclamation mark. And so that just seemed to have a little more force to it,
Yeah. And with, any entrepreneur, you got to fail a lot. You gotta fail on so many fucking things. You gotta shit your pants and walk around for a few minutes and just be like,
Yeah.
well, what the fuck else? Like I've tried everything. Let's do this stupid fucking thing because I don't fucking care anymore. You
Yeah.
get to those points, which is usually when you can make something fucking beautiful. And that's what you got to get to some point. If you're not doing that, if you haven't done that, if you're an entrepreneur, you're not doing it the right way or the way that can greatly benefit you. And
yeah, and that actually that's kind of the explanation of the idea of, there's 5 rules in the books, the 5 rules of failure. And rule number 1 is failure purifies, right? Like when you fail at something, like you look at the mess, what went right, what went wrong, what part of my plan, my strategy, my thinking needs to be burned off and discarded and purified out of my matrix of thought to move forward and do the next thing differently and become a new version of my evolving entrepreneurial or creative self, right? And so
right.
the purification process is very, very important. And that's applied through strategic failures, right?
Right. Yeah. And those strategic failures are everything. That's how you learn. That's the best way to learn. And
Yep.
then, being able to take those,
Well, think
go
about
ahead.
this too,
Yeah.
right? Like, if you didn't fail and you were just following a blueprint, right? And you're just like, okay, how do I do X? And somebody gives you a blueprint, says, this is how you go build this type of business. And you just follow step by step. And it all just works. Sure, you
Yeah.
can have a successful business and that can be gratifying and maybe you can make some money. But on the other hand, you didn't really create anything. All you did was follow a bunch of directions. When
Right.
you're creating something, it's net new. And after the failure points and the corrections, at the end of it, if it's successful or sustainable or is released into the world with any sort of impact, you can say that is a unique creation of me. Nobody gave me a fucking blueprint and a set of directions. I wasn't just an automaton following directions. This is a creation of me. And it took a lot of scars and misdirection and misrouting and failures to get there. But this came from fucking me. And that's a whole other realm, a totally different feeling of satisfaction.
Yeah. And that's what it's for. That's what everything happens. That's where all the
Magic.
all the lessons that you can learn are all from fucking up. Like you can, and having something for doing hypnosis, stop smoking hypnosis, had 2 people that started vaping, and I was like, you motherfucker, like you're
on our call.
Yeah, I don't fucking care. Smoke as long as you feel good, and that's what it's about. And yeah, like I mean, it's people are having their own ways, but then you got to adapt. You got to adapt, and you got to be like, it's got to be like everything. You can't fucking even vape. Nothing with nicotine. Like I got to change that, and then, but I wouldn't have known that had I not fucked up. Like I wouldn't have known that for other people. And I hate doing those, by the way. That's one that I charge way more for because I hate stop smoking because I know it works, but I don't like doing it. There's other people that love doing it. Fuck it. It's boring. It's really boring. And it's not the right kind of thing for me. Like I'd rather do something that's creative and more helpful. Like, yeah. So then last thing. So with your book, then, where was the first copy that you signed? What was the first copy you signed?
It's a good question. I did a bunch of in-person book signings at cigar lounges, so it would have been at one of those. I'm trying to think where our first one was. Actually, I think the first one was first one we did. So I did it with a buddy of mine who runs a cigar podcast. We do a live podcast, book signings, sell merch, and sometimes do a little reading or whatever. So it would have been in Dallas, Texas.
Oh shit!
Yeah, this one cigar lounge. We did like a little kind of tour through Texas. So It would have been in Texas, in Dallas. Yeah.
Okay.
And that was a funny event too, because people were drinking and everything. And, after the signing, we're just hanging out, smoking cigars and whatever. And, this one guy comes up to me in the humidor and he's like, yo, can I give you something of equal value for your book? I'm like, what? You're not going to give me money? You're going to give me a cigar? I don't understand. What are you talking about? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, I'll give you a bump. I'm like, bro, I don't do coke. That's all right. I don't need you to trade me coke for my book. I don't do coke.
Right.
That's not the type of currency. I take my book. I got Venmo. I got all the other things, but I'm not taking coke for my book, bro.
Right. It was a nice offer.
I mean, it's 400 pages. You might need that to stay up and read it once you get it, but I'm not taking that in currency. Thank you.
Yeah. That's pretty good. I like that. Sometimes, people have interesting things. And that's how you have the friend that you can call up and he'll have fucking anything, is the guy who is offering that. He's that guy. He's totally that guy. And that guy I knew, and he died when he was like 21. But I mean, So, okay. So then where are people going to find your book?
Yeah, man. It's available anywhere you buy books online. They're all the formats. So paperback, hardcover, beautiful hardcover, audiobook. I hired a narrator.
I was okay.
Yeah, he's really good. He was one of the actors on Twin Peaks, and he's done a lot of other voice work, and he did the music video direction for Social Distortion, Machine Gun Blues. He's really cool. So he's got a good kind of strong cadence, reads it well. So audiobook's good too, and then obviously ebooks. So Amazon's obviously the best place to buy it, I would say, just because it helps me with sales with the algorithm, but you can get it anywhere.
Is it at any libraries? And how do you feel about libraries? What's that do? Does that, because
I don't know.
Yeah, because does that, you get one sale and then you get a bunch of people that read it, but then
I forget if my one distributor had a place in libraries or not. Wasn't really, concerned about it or anything, but yeah.
So hiring a narrator, was that your pick, or did you have this is a list of the people that I want to have read my book and narrate my book? These are the people, I want to get one of these and it's going to be worth the money. Was that what it was? Or was it why don't you do it yourself? I guess was kind of the two.
It was a time constraint to do it myself. And I don't know. I just felt like I wanted to hear somebody else's application to it,
Yeah.
And I own the rights to a lot of music. So it's interspersed with music and stuff. And, so it kind of became a production. But no, I just made a description for my publisher of here's the type of narrator I want. And they sent me 10 samples of different narrators they work with, because they work with a whole bunch of them. I reviewed them and they all kind of sucked and sounded like a lazy old grandfather, until this one guy came on and had more urgent cadence in his voice. Like, that's the guy. And so he ended up doing it. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
It seems like worthwhile.
It was a fun process. I think I got the right guy in the end. Yeah.
Well,
but cool. I did try to reach out to some famous people, see if I could get them to do it and hire them to do it. I reached out to Henry Rollins and see if he could do it, and then he politely said no, but said the book sounds cool. But I ended up giving him a copy.
That's pretty awesome.
I went to one of his spoken word shows and gave him a copy of the book, and we talked about it a little bit. But got to try. Right? You got to try.
Yeah. How did you reach out to him, or did your publisher reach out?
I reached out to him directly.
How'd you do that? Was that on Instagram?
No, it's through email.
Through email, you had his email address. You found his email address.
Yeah, he didn't write back, but Heidi Swift wrote back, and
okay,
fine. And then I talked to him about it when I met him, and gave him a physical copy of the book later on at one of his spoken word shows.
Yeah, because it's a different game now that you can contact people. You can contact people that are, I don't know, at different places. It's a lot easier.
Places on the spectrum of being famous in public. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it's just okay, there's that. It used to be a whole big thing, and you had to know somebody that knows somebody. Now it's just you can get direct. If you're the right person for that person, you can get a response instantly.
Yeah,
and which is unreal. And so if people gonna find you, and they can maybe get a response instantly if you're that right person, or maybe not.
I'm most active on Instagram, so at Andrew Thorp King. No E in the end of Thorpe, so Andrew Thorp THORP King, and that's on Instagram. That's probably the best way to find me. But also check out my website, andrewthorpking.com. A lot of good stuff there as well.
Cool. Well, dude, thanks a lot, man. Pleasure talking with you. And
I
like
the freeform direction we took. It's good.
Me too. It went exactly where it needed to go.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Well, have a great rest of your night.
All right. See you, buddy.
All right. See it. All right. That's Andrew Thorp King. You guys check him out. Easy. Check me out. rustydiamond.net, hypnosisisgreat.com. Union Bridge Yoga. You can check out. worldclasscustoms.com if you need any gear or stuff for your action figures now, as well Labubus. If you need any of that, worldclasscustoms.com. And check out my 2 books on Amazon, and those will probably be in the description. All that other stuff's can be in the description. So thank you, everybody, for being here on the Rusty Diamond Podcast Network. And that is the show, man. Boom!
It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker. It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.